Hey, welcome to Survey Program. This week's episode contains spoilers and more adult content than usual, including discussion of the Omegaverse for whatever reason, so you've been warned. And thanks to those of you who support the show by subscribing $5 a month on groupershrike.net, the link in the description. January's bonus episode is now available. It contains a continuation of my Doctor Who discussion with Sarah Zedig and Sam Keeper, and we had a really fun talk about two very different but sort of mirror image Doctor Who spin-offs from 2009 and 2025. That's Torchwood, Children of Earth, and The War Between the Land and the Sea. So be sure to check that out at groupershrike.net. If you get the chance, it's available to all supporters. And if you do support the show, please feel free to ping me in the show's Discord for an exclusive tag there. And let's head over to the show. Music this week is by Highwell. So if you were listening to the last episode, you might recall that Now I Only Want to Triumph, our guest for that episode, has played Deltarune but not Undertale. And that made me think about how one of my close friends, BQ, has played Undertale but not Deltarune. And I thought it might be fun to interview each of them about their experience only playing one half of the story so far. And, just sort of get their sense of why they've only played one half and what they think happens in the half that they haven't played. And at some later date, once I've convinced them to finish the other half, I'll catch up with them and see how it differed from their expectations. So without further ado, let's start with part one with BQ. All right, I've got my good friend BQ here. We're going to talk about the first half of this equation, which is you've played Undertale but not Deltarune, right? And so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that. So first off, as is the traditional question with new guests, what's your history with Undertale? When did you first play Undertale?
That is a great question, actually. I think I was at a shitty little Dungeons and Dragons group thing, right? The DM sucked, all the other players sucked, I also sucked. Every time I look at a Pathfinder character sheet now, I feel this intense sense of existential dread.
What character were you playing?
This horrible bard who's chaotic evil, who was just killing everyone. But it was great because...
A self-insert, then.
Yeah, wow, okay.
You're killing everyone.
Yeah, I am. I'm sorry about that. I can't help it.
You've left a trail of murder behind you.
God forbid a woman do that. I'm oppressed over here. Anyway, there'd be these shitty little intermissions within this shitty little D&D campaign, and I'm sorry if it's redundant to say shitty over and over again.
You go ahead.
I just really want to illustrate how bad it was. But we're all sitting there and we're having Little Caesars pizza because, yeah.
It's the king. It's the most value for money you can get from an American takeout place.
It's true, and this is when it was still $5, hot and ready.
Yeah.
Living that life. But I'm sitting there with my little laptop and I'm okay, this is boring and I hate listening to all of you people talk about Kingdom Hearts, which I don't believe in Final Fantasy, and I'm sorry, I don't condone it.
If you're listening, Serena, I'm sorry. And if you're listening and you're a fan of Final Fantasy, then know that we are actually going to do an episode about Final Fantasy in the future.
Okay, I do have some mutuals who do the Final Fantasy, and I do like them. Uh-huh. I like their characters. They're Wizard of Light or whatever.
I like do the Final Fantasy. That's the most boomery way you could have
Yeah, well, okay,
You're kind of spiritually a boomer.
I'm going to kill myself in front of you. I'm going to make you watch every grueling...
No! This is the realest episode of Survey Program. Yeah, we're turning...
I'm sorry. Okay. TLDR.
Yeah. You didn't want them to talk about... You're at this group, you didn't want them to talk about Final Fantasy. But this is a hostile interview. I'm derailing you all the time.
That's great. That's fucking awesome. This is so not what our conversations typically are like.
You put the microphone in and it changes everything.
Usually I'm the one harassing Kate and giving her psychic damage and making her feel insecure about herself or not. and just being affirming. This is horrible. I don't even know. It's actually, I kind of needed this. I need someone to be mean to me sometimes.
I turn into a little goblin when I put the microphone on. It's like it changes things.
Is that like the fucking Critical Role or whatever? Is it Critical Role? I don't actually know much about media. The green one with the like really big ears.
I'm not a literal goblin.
Okay, all right. Well, damn. Fucked up.
I guess the listeners can't see me, so maybe they could picture me however they want. But listen, you didn't want them to talk about Final Fantasy.
It was lame, so I wanted to do something, and I knew that Undertale was a thing, and I like seen images on tumblr.com, and I was like, okay.
And this was was this around 2015, 2016? I
want to say like 2016, 2017.
So,
because
okay.
I remember I was working at a 7-Eleven during this time period, and after playing this game, it was something that I like focused on while I was at 7-Eleven, feeling like the burger dude. What was...
Burger Pants.
Yeah, Burger Pants.
Yeah.
I don't like know any of these characters' names.
Well, it's been a while. Have you replayed or anything?
No.
Okay.
I'm really bad at video games. But, I was like, okay, I'll get a game, but I don't know if this will be good, so I'll pirate it. So I stole Undertale from online, and I played it, and...
There's a demo.
Well, okay, but here there's more to the story.
Okay.
There's more to the story. And I got to the part where, like, Toriel is, like, holding Frisk's little hand in the intro and, like, walking and just being very nice to them. And then I was like, okay, I can't morally do this. So I went in, and then I bought Undertale because I felt really bad, and I was like, shit. And I think
Toriel gets another one. That's why they put her in the demo.
Good for her. Good for her. It worked. It worked. I was guilt tripped, and I was also like, I need to respect this woman. I can't do this. Which is funny because I actually didn't know that you can't, you don't have to kill characters. So in my first run, I did kill Toriel.
Me too.
I felt so shitty. I was like, what do I do? Who am I? Why did I do that?
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, man. And then I met Sans, and I was like, oh, fuck, man.
My first run, I thought you had to like not like Pokemon, you had to like get the character's HP low before, and then the fight would like, you have a choice to stop the fight. It would like tell you that you could stop the fight then. And so I just kept attacking, and then she died.
Wait, that's something that happens in Pokemon?
To catch a Pokemon, you have to get their health low, usually.
Okay, I'm sorry. Damn, alright. That's something that I have to think about in my life now, because I guess I've just been really bad at playing Pokemon, and also have only played one Pokemon game. Yeah.
And so you met Sans.
I met Sans.
Do you like Sans?
I do like Sans.
Yeah, me too.
He's kind of like heterosexual to me.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's like most of the characters are to me.
He's like my favorite heterosexual character ever.
It's great. I love straight people. I'm like a Fujoshi for straight people. Like here's the thing. I love the gays, but I'm not a Fujoshi. I'm a faghag. There's a difference. I'm sorry if that can't be in the podcast.
That can be in the podcast.
I can say fag?
You can say if you can say fag.
Okay, awesome. Because I am a faghag. Like, I respect Fujoshis, but I like men who are also not in anime because I don't watch anime. Shout out to anime, like, gay guys. I think I do. I respect that. I think it's beautiful. I'm not homophobic. I'm
not shouting out anime guys. I don't like them.
There's some of them that are cool. Like, there's the porn game one that I cosplayed that one time. Shout out to Quincy New Carnival. We love Quincy New Carnival. I feel like I need to like really promo that. But I am a fag hag, and Sans does not elicit the feelings that I feel when I'm at the gay bar that I may or may not. I don't know if I should go there. I don't know if I'm allowed.
You don't know if you're allowed to go to the gay... I thought fag hags are like a classic part of the gay bar ecosystem.
I know, but every time I go, I'm like...
It's like the little shrimp in a fish tank.
I mean, it's not really like a shrimp. It's more of like one of those like overfed fish that they're like, Jesus Christ, we need to get this into a bigger tank.
I don't think that's true. I think that's too cruel. I think they're a vital part of the ecosystem of the gay bar.
Like the little like...
I almost never go to gay bars, so...
They're pretty great. The drinks are really strong.
I don't like that. I'm a lightweight.
Yeah, but this one has like 3 different levels that I keep going to, and it has like all these weird screens that are constantly playing porn, and then there's a DJ who always is like kind of good, but you're not entirely sure if they're good because
You're just every time this is like the worst thing ever.
it's awesome.
This sounds like the most off-putting to me personally thing I've ever heard.
I just wish that they had like a smoking section because I feel like it would make it more authentic.
I like when a bar is dark and quiet.
Yeah, well, this place is dark. It's not quiet though.
Actually, I can even lose the dark. There's a new bar that opened up in Ballard where you can read in it.
Oh,
so it's quiet and the lights are up.
Oh, fuck yeah!
And I really liked that.
I mean, I know that you can like parallel play at the furry bar, which is why I want to go there because they're like you can like draw and like right here.
Where's the furry bar?
I think it's like South Seattle.
Oh yeah,
they have like really good cider.
Welcome to Seattle Bar Talk. It's the #1 podcast about Seattle bars.
Seattle bars are great.
Yeah, it's true.
Definitely go to the Unicorn. Apparently they reopened. I'm very excited to go back. They had like a fire or something? ? I don't know. I go on Instagram and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing here. And when I am on Instagram, I love looking at straight people like Sans. See how I look that back?
Yeah, that's great. There you go. Yeah, that's a great. You're a natural at this, honestly.
Sometimes. I love bullshitting. Yeah, Sans happened. Snowden happened. Really enjoyed that. That's where I kind of started locking in.
It's so homey, and you just feel, it's really the moment where you're like, there's something really special going on here.
It's the platonic ideal of how Christmas should feel.
Yeah.
You know, like you're like sitting there watching like Christmas Muppet movies, and you're like, this is the energy.
I love a cozy RPG town.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love like being in town in an RPG.
Yeah.
It feels so homey. You know, there's that sort of spiritual sense of the journey from home outward, and so I love the platonic RPG hub place.
And that's why it made me so sad when I had to leave because I thought I could never go back. And also I really like the dude, how do you say it? Is it like Papyrus? I don't fucking know.
Well, there's no you can say it either way. People say it either way. I say Papyrus. Some of my guests say Papyrus. It's literally fine.
Papyrus feels better to me.
Yeah.
You know, I loved that guy.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, fuck yes, this guy is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, at first I was like, who the fuck is this asshole? But then, like, 2 seconds later, I was like, I love this guy.
That's the homie.
I just realized that he's just, like, a profoundly autistic individual who's awesome.
Yeah.
And does not understand dating or... it's just the enthusiasm and, like, fact that he's genuine. I needed that, you know? Like,
yeah.
He's wacky wonky. They're all wacky wonky, but there's just something about that energy that I need as someone who's like cynical.
Yeah.
And a hater.
And it's just not a cynical game at all.
Yeah.
You know, and even though you can do fucked up things in it, you can kill all these beautiful characters, right?
Which I have done.
Yeah.
It was not good.
Yeah. So you've played multiple. So you've done, you actually did, okay, let's stick to the first playthrough, but then I do want to talk about your replay. So
okay.
So you got to Papyrus.
I killed him.
Yeah. Wow.
I think it's been a while. I remember a deep sense of grief after
yeah.
it, so. Then we got to Undyne. I was like so fucking scared at first of Undyne. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna die, because I'm really bad at video games. Like, terribly. So it's... I grew up in a gamer household. I don't know what happened. Like
you played Binding of Isaac, didn't you?
I mean, I still play Binding of Isaac. I'm not good at Binding of Isaac.
Yeah,
though.
but that's like a hard game.
Yeah, I like it because it's kind of like a job. It's like what I imagine people feel like when they're filling out a spreadsheet and like actually understand how to use Excel. You know what I mean?
That's why I play like Europa Universalis or Football Manager, which is much more actually like filling out a spreadsheet.
Yeah. It's like, have you played Drug Dealer Simulator?
No, I have not.
It fucking sucks. It's made by like some Russians or something who saw a picture of Detroit once and were like, this is it. This is what we're gonna make as a game. But yeah, those fucking spears.
They're really hard. I died to Undyne a number of times because I did a replay right before starting the episode 1 of the show. I just, I replayed everything just to get a sense, and I Undyne kicked my ass a few times for sure.
Oh yeah, no, I mean that entire game was just me getting my ass kicked. Like everything with like Metaton was like horrible. I was death maxing.
I died to Undyne. I died to Asgore a bunch. I died to pacifist ending Azrael a couple times, and then I died to one random field fight once where I was just like, come on, because I just wasn't using my healing items, and I was like, I can tank this. I couldn't tank it, but
that's real. I can't even count how many times I've died, because I have definitely died multiple times. And I do this in every single video game that I play. It's a nice constant, you know. Like, I think consistency is key, and at least I have that going for me.
One thing I will say is Deltarune, I think, is way easier than Undertale. Going back to Undertale, playing it, I thought this is a much harder game than Deltarune. Deltarune has a lot more... The secret stuff, the optional stuff is harder in Deltarune, I would say. Yeah. It's very hard, but getting to the main path of Deltarune, I think, is a lot more accessible than some of the hard fights in Undertale.
Okay. That's good, because I cannot stress enough, I'm so bad at it. For the record, audience, I look really defeated right now.
But you continued. You persisted.
I did. I wanted to. I like the characters. I thought they were good. I wanted to see what happened. But it's funny because the first time I just did, like, I guess it's the neutral.
Yeah, it's just one of the many neutral endings.
I sat there and I thought that was like kind of it. And I was like, oh. And then I didn't touch it for like a year. Mm-hmm. And then I realized that apparently there's also more endings, because I just was not really like engaging with like the fandom at all. At that point I was like seriously just like only doing like a few things, and they were kind of niche, and God, I never should have been on Tumblr. I was so bad at using it. Damn. Never again. I say as I'm actively posting. But yeah, then I like actually went back and I tried doing a pacifist, which for the most part worked. Cried at that little hug.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It really. Having just replayed it, I'm just like, man, this is so good. This is peak. It's
so peak. Like, it felt like something inside of me was like kind of like restructuring a little. Like, I don't want to say healing, because I feel like that's cheesy and overused. Like, important, obviously, but I just don't want to apply that to myself.
I think a lot of people have talked about Undertale that way, though. You know, it's very meaningful to people.
I mean, I know, and it's good for them. It's just for me, I feel like, I don't know. That's another episode, and we're not going to do the Freudian analysis today, as much as he watches over us.
There's a poster for those not watching our video feed. There's a poster of Freud on the wall. Also, we don't have a video feed. That was a joke.
That's okay. Can we, like, maybe take a picture of it as, like, proof?
Oh, I guess I could, yeah, for sure. I guess I could incorporate it into the album art.
Do it really, like, grainy and weird.
I don't think maybe.
I mean, you've also got that beautiful picture of me with Sarah that I drew, and also the Empress poster, and then the lovers, and then the beautiful...
I'm not going to take a picture of all the stuff on your wall.
I mean, okay, the furry badge that is literally just my OC is awesome, though. Shout out to Dia. We love Dia in this household.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Future guest, Dia.
Dia's... I fucking love that thing. But... Shit, yeah. I don't...
So you ended up replaying. So you came back to it after a year. You ended up replaying, and you did the pacifist ending.
It felt so good.
Yeah.
You know, it felt very needed at that point in time in my life, because like that entire era is like really foggy. It was weird. I mentioned the whole like night shifts at 7-Eleven thing, and that was a lot of me like sitting there doing midnights by myself, which is not something that was really like supposed to happen. And like one of the few consolations was sitting there and like hooking up my phone to the shitty little radio and playing whatever, right? And there was a lot of Undertale music, which is really funny to think about, because I'm like sitting there wearing this like button down Hawaiian print, like just completely open shirt, because I didn't want to wear the stupid shitty 7-Eleven shirts, because this is when they transitioned from like the traditional red one to like this green one that had a worse fabric texture, and I was like, fuck that shit, I'm wearing this every day. And like Death by Glamour is like on loop, and I'm cleaning and someone comes in at 3 a.m. and that's just that was my life. Got me through. You know, it wasn't like the big focus at like, you know, like save me or whatever, but it was a very, very needed highlight.
Yeah.
And I does feel really like, I don't want to say it makes me emo, but it does make me feel something when people connect to a story like that. And I know that there's so many people who share that experience. Like, I haven't listened to this podcast.
Well, you haven't played Deltarune. That's why I'm talking to you here.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I'm in the server, and like sometimes I'm like, hey, I don't know what's happening here. I'll like post a selfie to flex. And I know people who have played it though.
Of course.
And everyone like seems like they've been profoundly affected. Like, I haven't met someone who's played Undertale and hasn't had like some kind of reaction to it. And if I have met that person, they were probably a freak. But can't be too much of a hater, sorry. Hold back on the haterisms. Yeah. Nighty K-Dog.
Yeah. So, who's your favorite Undertale character?
Like, are we talking by category?
Just who's your favorite? No, just straight up. Who's your favorite? No qualifications. Who's your favorite Undertale character?
Okay. You know what? It's probably going to be Temmie, actually.
That's a great answer. That's such a beast answer.
Temmie's awesome.
Yeah.
Temmie just like shows up and is like awesome, and I don't know what Temmie's pronouns are. I'm like, that's kind of like a she they to me.
They Tim.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Tim. I believe Temmie's referred to as she her throughout. But Tay Tim would be hilarious. Tay Tim would be great.
We need neo-pronouns.
Yeah.
In Undertale.
And obviously Temmie is based off a real person whose pronouns are she, her.
Okay, that's cool. Sometimes I forget that, like, you know, there's two Temmies, like the Temmie and...
There's Timmy Chang and Temmie the creature. Yeah.
Temmie Chang's work is...
Yes, incredible.
So good. I love art. Art's so cool.
Yeah.
Stories, narratives...
So,
plots even.
Deltarune comes out. You can't play it.
No.
Why not? No judgment. I'm just, I have to ask about this because that's part of the point of the interview.
I'm going to be real with you. I think it came out and I'm like, my memory is so fragmented that if I did play it, I don't remember it. That's the problem here. Like, genuinely there's like a series of months where there's just like nothing burger. I do remember seeing cosplayers for Deltarune at a con that I went to and being like, damn, that was fast, because it was literally like a week or something after it was released. And I remember being like, okay, I'm hearing a bunch of people talk about this, and I also remember that like I got cut off of the internet for some reason at that point, which may have contributed to not playing it. If I don't know. It's murky.
You were a listener of my last show pretty early on, right? And I did an episode about it. No, you came in late? Okay.
Oh yeah, no. Dude, this is so awesome. I was sitting there on Twitter after the Tumblr porn ban, because that's like, come on.
What else would you do? Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I was like a broken individual after that.
That's probably why my listenership went up around then.
Yeah, and I was like, what the hell? And then like I see this like follower, and I'm like, who the fuck is this? Like, why are you following me? And I'm like, what the hell is a podcast? You have a podcast? Fuck you. I don't know what that is. So I'm like staring you down, and I'm like, okay, fine, I'll follow back. Sure. We can be oops, which was not a term at this point, back in 2019. Yeah, but then you were chill, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, the rest is history.
Yeah, that was an era.
Yeah.
We were so young. So free.
You were so young.
My hair was so bad. You know what? You were also young.
That's true. I'm only a little bit older than you.
You were younger than I am now.
That's true, yeah.
Met, which is kind of a mindfuck. I don't like that, actually. That sucks.
When I actually stop and think about the fact that my last show was 8 years ago in August, I'm like, what the hell? 8 years? Really?
What are you doing?
I mean, by the time Deltarune's finished, I will have been celebrating 10 years of podcasting, or more.
And I think that only pales a comparison to the amount of time that you've been a Redditor.
don't bring that up, right? Don't embarrass me in front of my audience. I was one of the first like couple thousand Reddit users, so.
I know, it's okay. I'm tied to another one genetically, so it's fine.
Well, I was posting good.
Thank God. Okay, so no Sasquatch holes or anything.
I don't even know what that means. No.
You know, like Sasquatch people or like.
No. I mean, I was pretty early like Reddit cynic who was like on the like the feminist board there for a while and all that stuff. That was like trying to make fun of the Reddit monoculture. And nowadays Reddit's basically fine compared to most other social media sites. Like Reddit's actually probably one of the more left wing ones. Like it's definitely less shitty than a lot of them. Chill. The Seattle Reddits are Hitlerian nightmare zones, though. Don't go to the Seattle local Reddits; they're really bad.
Oh yeah, don't go to the Seattle WA one.
Both of them are bad, frankly. Yeah, one's worse than the other, but both of them are bad.
Yeah, I feel like Ask Seattle is usually a little bit like more normal. If it is called Ask Seattle, I'm not gonna.
Who cares? What are we got lost?
I don't know. It's just like I go on and I'm like, wow, am I the asshole? And I'm like, wow. I go to Reddit updates.
I like Reddit because it's like the least chuddy place to talk about sports on the internet. So that's nice. For whatever reason, even when Reddit was chuddy, the sports Reddits weren't, and now that Reddit's not chuddy, the sports Reddits still aren't. So I don't know what the deal with that is, but So right, we're talking about Deltarune. So you didn't play on Chapter 1 release, and then you just never bothered to catch up when the other chapters came out?
Yeah, it's like I know what characters are through like cultural osmosis, by which I mean pornography. Which is how I learn about most things. I thought Rosalina was just like a porn OC for like years. I didn't know that she was actually a thing. I also thought like Samus or whatever was like named like Samu because I'm articulate and I know about
that's fine. The Super Smash Bros. Melee narrator pronounces Samus's name wrong, so
awesome.
He says Samus. That's beautiful. And they shipped the game like that.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's really validating actually. I still thought that all of those characters were just like porn. Like, I just thought it just existed like in a porn.
But you knew that Deltarune characters were Deltarune characters. This was a different cultural context.
Okay, so with Tenna, I did not know at first. I thought Tenna was just porn.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know why like my head is always like, well, yeah, there's like fandom things, there's like
there's not like
then there's just porn. There's a category of characters that is just pornography.
I don't think there's mass culture just porn characters. What are you talking about?
I don't know. There's something's wrong with me today. Okay, we've been through this. Like, public school sometimes
I went to public school.
Up. I know. I'm saying that public school gets fucky sometimes and fails children, and children are left behind, and I'm one of them. Also, the COVID brain damage really amplified that. I'm very stupid. But
no, you're not. No negative self-talk on this podcast.
No, I'm embracing it as a good thing.
I don't know, listeners. I don't think this is.
Well, no, I think it's a good thing because sometimes smart people are sick and twisted. Case in point, Alphys.
True. Man, I love Alphys.
That is such a little freak right there.
I love Alphys. She's trying her best. Sometimes she got over her skis, I think. But I'm sympathetic to Alphys. I'm sympathetic to Undertale Alphys. I have a different take on Deltarune Alphys, but we'll talk about that after you've played Deltarune.
Okay. Because, I am sympathetic to her, and I do really like her as a character, to be fair. I also can acknowledge the fact that she's kind of a gooner and not in a good way. Is she a gooner? Is it just me like that?
I mean, she likes a very questionable anime, so...
Yeah, so immediately, okay, red flag.
Yeah.
Got it. She's small and she's weird and she's kind of unpleasant. And I do understand where she's coming from, though. And I think that's good.
I think it's great to have female characters that are weird and unpleasant. I love that.
And kind of pathetic.
Yeah.
But then, actually, very powerful in very specific, weird ways. Where you're like, oh, you fucker. You were trying to be more pathetic. But, she also wasn't. Because this is just me as, the audience getting, mad and then realizing that, oh, no, she's kind of fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But I think that, when a character is like that, and she's also a woman, people don't keep playing and being like, wow, actually, this guy is very multifaceted and interesting, and I'm going to draw him bunch of like sexual positions. They're just like, oh my god, that cunt. Oh my god, I hate her.
Yeah.
I want her dead.
Yeah, audience reactions are very different.
Yeah, it's
Feminism.
Feminism, yeah.
But okay, before we wrap up, I wanted to ask, this is I want to have a little fun, and I want you to, before you've played Deltarune, I want you to try to describe to me the story of Deltarune to date. Tell me what happens in the game. Yeah, like you know, just try to describe to me the story. Tell me the story of Deltarune with no actual playing experience. What do you think happens in the game?
Okay, well, I think that Chris listens to Nirvana.
Okay.
Definitely. Very Kurt Cobain.
Okay, but what happens?
Goes on a merry little adventure with their pals.
Okay.
Rules card is there, which I feel like is just a plot point. It should be a plot point, if not. There's like dimensions, I guess.
Okay, there's dimensions.
There's fucking dimensions. I don't know.
And what do they do on this adventure?
I don't know, like take HRT or something.
Okay.
I mean, also like, because like I've seen like fan art, I just have no context for it, right? Shit, I'm trying to like be articulate and failing because I'm never articulate.
Who are the antagonists on this journey? Who do they face?
Fuck. Damn. Themselves, obviously. No. You know what? I'm gonna just guess from what I've learned on Twitter.com that it's Torio because she's a neglectful parent. God forbid a woman have a few drinks sometimes, okay? You know what? Sometimes you need to do that, and it's okay. And also, you know what? If your child is old enough, then I feel like it's fine. It's fine. You know, we all make bad decisions, but it's probably fine. And if this bites me in the ass later, then I will have an apology video or a notes app, depending on the severity of the situation. Yeah, I honestly, I can't give you a great answer for that. I'm sorry, but I'm just like,
No worries. And so part of this is, you know, this is like part one of talking to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the idea is that you will play Deltarune, hopefully.
yes.
I will get you to play Deltarune. And as you play each chapter, I'll check in and follow up with you for some subsequent episodes survey program. Just over the course of your playthrough, we'll have some brief check-ins after each chapter, and I can get your feedback on each chapter and your predictions for what's going to happen next.
Do I have to play like all of the things?
You don't have to beat the secrets. You just need to play them. Play the chapter one time all the way through.
Okay, because I know myself and I will not be able to beat the secrets.
That's literally fine.
Okay, are you sure?
On my replay before starting this podcast, I was not able to beat Jevil.
Okay.
And I have never beat the Roaring Knight.
Okay. I don't even know what that character is.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm like, wait, I don't think I've seen porn of that one. I'm sorry this keeps going back to porn. I am not like this all the time, okay? I just get really nervous and sometimes I start ranting about pornography and the Omegaverse, and I love the Omegaverse, but like specifically the one that I write and not the other ones, because the other ones just feel like they're trying to make like misogyny too, and I can't deal with it, and I'm like, why do the Omegas not have like paralytic venom? Like, fuck you. Wait, is it venom or poison? Shit. Which one comes? 'Cause
I don't know.
There's a difference.
I don't know.
Fuck. I'm a fake fan of my own project.
Don't worry, I've forgotten all the lore I've ever written.
I don't know if that makes me.
I had to look up a picture of my character Cecily to remember details about her costume.
Oh no, I mean I had to do that for her porn placement. Like, it's something that's happened to me. I used to be able to draw that bitch on command.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, here we go, and now it's like, what?
Yeah.
Am I a bad person?
No, not at all.
For that, and also
Thanks for listening to Survey Program, everybody. No, that's not actually the end of the episode.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because we're going to do a second part with our other panelist who has played Deltarune but not Undertale. But thank you so much for joining me and sharing your experiences with the game. And I look forward to checking back in with you as you play the chapters of Deltarune.
Oh my god, I'm sorry.
You're faced away from the microphone so nobody can hear you.
Oh wait, see, okay, sorry, I was
Sobbing.
I'm I'm on the floor right now. I'm on this.
I want you to know that. I want you to know, listeners, that I tried to get them to not be on the floor to record this because I'm sitting on a church pew, in the Vatican where we're recording every episode of Survey Program.
Yeah, it's a real pew.
It is a real pew. We're not really in a church.
Yeah, there is a pew though. Like that part is very real. Also, the Freud.
Before I let you go, is there anything you want to plug?
Wait, what? Is there like a limit?
I haven't set one yet. No one's crossed it yet.
Shit. Okay, damn it. Now I'm like, fuck. What would I plug? There's so many things that I love in this world, and I feel like being like, look at my Toy House page, because even though I'm a well-adjusted adult who has like a job, I mean, like everybody probably has some level of like work, and I can't just be like, look at my OC, because that's like, no.
I think that's a great plug. I'll put a link in the description.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to go into any more detail about that, but I please look at my character.
If you want to check out BQ's OC, check out the link in the description.
Also, you should like really, really get into Big Daddy Mark if you have not already. And Mark We Trust is his finest work. It's very meaningful to me personally. I mean, like the first three tracks are literally Ohio Orgasm, followed by I Pledge Allegiance to the Bag, and then wait, no, I lied. It's actually Ohio Orgasm, Sex Simulator, Interlude, and then I Pledge Allegiance to the Bag. I really need to go to Long Island to see one of his shows. Someone please sponsor that.
You're the first person in history to say, I really need to go to Long Island.
Okay, listen, just for that. After that, I'm gonna leave. I don't believe in Long Island. I don't think it's real.
I had to go out there for a job interview once.
That's terrible.
When I was running the Overwatch team.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Why there? Like it's
one of the owners lived there.
What?
Because he's rich. He's a sports team owner.
Okay, but the thing is, if you own Overwatch.
He didn't own Overwatch. He owned a franchise in Overwatch League.
Okay, if he owned a franchise in the Overwatch League, and he had enough money to buy a property that's good, why is he not going for a fucking brownstone or something?
Rich people love living on Long Island. I don't know why. Anyway, bye everybody. See you on the second part of this episode. Well, welcome back for the second straight episode, Triumph, because, you talked about this in the server before, but it kind of had left my mind, and then you came on the last episode 2 weeks ago and dropped the incredible tidbit that you had played Deltarune without ever playing Undertale first.
Yeah.
And that really, that tickled me, and it inspired me too, because there's another friend of mine, BQ, who listeners will have just heard in the first part of this episode, who I know who's played Undertale but not Deltarune, right? And I thought to myself, it would be fun to interview you both separately about your experiences, having sort of half the story, and talk about, your history with the game, why what you got out of playing one, and also what you've absorbed by cultural osmosis about the other half that you haven't played, right?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, and so, I think BQ's situation, that's a lot more common, right? I think because Undertale's one of the most popular games of all time, period, right?
Yeah. And the nature of linear time, Deltarune is explicitly said to be a game that you play once you've finished Undertale.
Yes. And so, a lot of people are going to think, okay, well, I never got to Undertale, so I'm not going to pick up Deltarune. Undertale's cheaper. Undertale's available on more platforms. You know what I mean?
Undertale's
there's just
finished.
A lot of reasons why you might have... there's a lot more reasons why you might have played Undertale than Deltarune. Although I will say, I think your circumstance is going to get more common as the years go on, because Deltarune's newer, it will be continually released for longer. Younger people might just, especially younger people, I think, might just pick up Deltarune first and might not even get around to Undertale. But, we talked a little bit about this, so I know you already shared your reason in the last episode, but just to make people not have to do homework and go listen to the last episode, even though it's a really good one that I liked, they might not be into baseball, so they might not want to listen to that one.
Well, no, you're not wrong, but they should listen to it anyway.
Yeah. But would you mind telling me again, when Undertale came out, you avoided it. Do you want to share why?
Well, it wasn't initially avoiding it. Okay, it was a little bit, but
You were you felt like you didn't have the time for it, right?
right. Yeah, September 2015. I was trying to get through. I think I'd failed out of college twice at that point. But September 2015, I was like, okay, I'm really gonna focus. I need to fucking lock in and get this degree. And eventually, 4 years later, I did. After I did time at community college, went to a state school. That's all in the past.
Hey,
but
let me just say though, fellow, I always appreciate when I have somebody on who has also went to community college and a state school. That's just a little bit of pride there.
Hell yeah. But yeah, I was in the point where it was September 2015. I really needed to lock in on that. It's not like I didn't play games. I still did, but I was on Tumblr in September. I was more active on Tumblr. And I was like, oh, what's this? Underfell, Dark Fallen. I'm just going to make up words. These all seem huge. These must be related to the game somehow. There's no way people would just make up random Sanses for no reason. So they must be connected to the game. This game must be huge. I don't have time to put my energy into that. I already have all this attention focused on college and this other big thing that's coming out. I didn't have time to focus on Undertale.
Yeah. And by the way, if you're interested in hearing my first exposure to a lot of Undertale AU stuff, you can listen to episode 4, because a lot of this stuff I missed completely. It blew my mind hearing about it, because I wasn't super active on Tumblr at the time.
Honest to God, that was when I learned, it's actually not connected to the game. It's just people being people.
And there's some AUs for Deltarune, but not quite so intense. But when Deltarune came out, you did get over the hump and you did decide to play it, right?
Yeah, because it was October 28. Obviously Halloween 2018. Mm-hmm. I was still going to college at that point. I was in the state school that I ended up eventually graduating from, but I had no idea what it was. I was like, well, we're 3 years in. Let's see what's going on here. It might be interesting to be someone who's played Deltarune who downloaded the survey program without having played Undertale. And then it turned out, it's this whole chapter of a game.
It turns out it was interesting for you to do that, because somebody is interviewing you about it.
Yes, not even just for that, but yeah. I figured it might come in handy someday, and here we are.
Yeah. And so walk me through your reactions to the survey program and to playing the game for the first time.
The thing is, I was still kind of had an idea of the characters of Undertale, because it was hard to avoid them. But
right, just cultural. I didn't, the same way that before I watched Star Wars, I could loosely describe what happens in Star Wars. Yeah,
but without having that connection to the characters as they existed, I don't think it's Toriel's obviously Chris's mom. I can't imagine her being anything else.
Yeah.
Anyone else's mom. Oh, okay, Azrael. But I haven't met Azrael. But I know that's yeah. It's a weird situation, because I'm not in the intended situation, but I don't want to change it at this point.
Yeah. But okay, tell me, I mean, as you played through chapter 1, what were you how did you feel about the game?
I honestly, I fell in love with it. The writing is good, the characters are good, unsurprisingly, Toby Fox knows how to make good fucking music.
Yeah.
I knew that before 2015.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave that there. But yeah, I even without the knowledge of any of the deeper lore stuff, just the game that we have is good.
Yeah. And so in the gaps between chapters, I mean, did you engage with fan content or theorizing at all while you were waiting in between chapter 1 and 2?
I did not. I remember I don't really think I did. Mm-hmm. Obviously I have since 3 and 4 came out.
Yeah.
That's later on. 2 came out somewhere in 21?
Yeah, 2021.
Yeah, I played that also.
You played that on release?
Pretty close to release, yeah. So I'm just I don't even remember where I was when I played it. Well, I remember where I was. I'm living in the same place.
But... Yeah, but it's a bit of a strange couple years for the world. 2020 and 2021.
you in particular, but
yeah,
we're not
you
gonna
know,
go there.
all of us really. But but you know, it was. I think it was just overall for the world genuine. Like, it was a tough time, and I think it was definitely a bit of a light in the darkness. You know, especially since Chapter 2 is so knee-slappingly funny. Like, the comic timing and everything. It's really. I think it's some of the peak of like how games can be used for comedy, because there's not a ton of funny games.
Yeah, there have been, but they're like there's a difference between a game that's funny and a funny game. Like, I would say Deltarune is definitely a funny game versus like one of your super Ryan Reynolds comic hero VRs, which is a game that's trying to be funny. Because then if you're relying just on like dialogue, it's not going to work. You get
a Borderlands type situation where I think sometimes it can be a little. It doesn't quite mesh, right? And I think timing is one of the hardest things to do with game narratives, because you know, either you're doing it all in cutscenes where the player is out of control, or you're doing it in engine where there's that ability for the player to kind of sabotage the way cutscenes work. That's part of why I think, like, I don't know if you're a fan, but why I think like Half-Life 2 is such a masterpiece of a game, because almost all of the dialogue and cutscenes are happening while you're in control, but it still feels, or you know, like you're still getting the intended effect out of each scene, because they're just so confident in their environment design and how compelling it is, that they just think, even though I'm going to let you walk around and look at stuff, I still think you're going to get the most out of this dialogue as a living actor in the scene. And so it feels very immersive in that way.
Right. I've played started Half-Life. No, I haven't played Half-Life. I've started Black Mesa, started Half-Life 2, never got around to finishing them. I will if they come out with a third one. When they come out with a third one. If they come out with a third one.
Half-Life 2, one of my favorite games ever. I haven't played Alex because they've released a fucking Half-Life game that you need a VR setup to use, and I don't have one of those.
Yeah. And, I mean, my username, Now I Only Want to Triumph, you know where that's from.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's
not Half-Life, but...
Yeah, it's a Portal
reference,
Portal. Right. And Portal,
Now I Only
a
Want
great
You Gone.
example of a game that's super organically funny. Both Portal 1 and Portal 2, you know, probably the other great examples of humor in a game.
Yeah, I played Portal 2 before I played Portal 1.
You love doing shit out of order.
Well, at least that one I had an excuse. Portal 1 was on the fucking orange box, and I was 13 when it came out.
Yeah.
Portal 2 I got on the PS3, and it came with a code for Steam. First game I ever got on Steam, because I got it with the PS3 copy of Portal 2.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's funny. I mean, I feel like it could probably stand on its own. I guess it's kind of, I mean, you know, it's a continuation of the narrative. It's not quite the same kind of reboot that Deltarune is, but like Portal 2 is a self-contained story. It stands on its own. And so the gap between Chapter 2 and 3 and 4, that was a lot longer, right? That was about 4 years, right? And during that time, did you think about Deltarune a lot, or were you just sort of, did you turn off until the new chapters came out?
I was aware of it. Like, it was never front of mind as, like, the fandom I was worried about. But I was aware of it. I was like, oh, I wonder if she'll... And someone who follows Nintendo stuff, like, every time there's a Direct, it's like, oh, is Deltarune going to be there? Is Deltarune going to be there? And then it was.
And it was, right. There was one time where it was, and we were all like, holy fuck.
and it was there on launch, and I played it on the Switch.
And like you, I wasn't really super engaged with the community during that gap. And then that announcement that the new chapters were coming out really kicked me into gear, and I was like, oh shit, I found myself being way more excited about it than I thought I would be. And
yeah, same honestly.
Yeah. And then obviously they came out, and just the sheer quality of them, like, I don't know, the fact that they somehow managed to keep stepping up the quality and complexity and like detail of the animations, and just everything it just felt like it continued to escalate, and that was what made me be like, all right, I want to do a show about this because there's so much to talk about.
Yeah, it's definitely it took until I think 3 and 4, when, not just because I think honestly if it ended on 3, I don't know that I would be here.
Yeah.
But the fact that it was 3 and 4 together was like, oh, okay.
I think we finally have an idea of the shape of the narrative, right? The overarching.
It's not going to just be the same thing over and over 7 or so times.
Yes, exactly.
It's actually going to be plot development, character evolution, there's already been character development, but there's going to be like, okay, the plot is actually going to progress. It's not just going to be like episodic. They go to the dark world, they do the thing. It's not going to be the same thing over and over, because like chapter 2 was essentially the same thing as chapter 1. Like if you look at the overall plot.
Yep.
And then chapter 3, it's like, oh, they didn't close the thing.
Yeah, the format was a little screwy, and it's not the same type of like traversing through an environment. Instead, there's a really limited set of maps, and you're like playing mini games to progress instead of doing, it's like it totally appends the gameplay. There's not even a lot of like traditional battles in chapter 3. And then 4 with its like stutter step.
3 doesn't. You don't go to hometown in chapter 3.
That's true. It's all dark
well,
world.
you go in a cutscene, but that doesn't count because the cutscene ends. Oh, it's the end of the chapter.
Yep. There's no like. It's not like every chapter is going to be. You start the chapter in the light world. You encounter the fountain. You close the fountain. Then you go back to the light world and you talk to everybody. And then you go to sleep and do it again. Right? Nope. Turns out it's all.
Talk to the skeleton with the mystery brother.
Yep. And he tells you you can't see his goddamn brother yet.
Which is weird. Like, you'd think that, I don't know, you'd think you'd advertise a character. But maybe the brother just doesn't want to talk to us yet.
Yeah, I guess not. I guess maybe he thinks the vibes are off.
I don't know who this brother... Oh, okay, yes, I do. It's Papyrus.
Right. Like
I can't pretend I don't know who Papyrus is.
That's what I wanted to pivot to as well, is sort of talking about, through the cultural osmosis, you have absorbed a lot of Undertale, right? And through playing Deltarune, I'm sure you absorb it as well. So I'm going to challenge you here. I want you to try to tell me, start to finish, what happens in the game Undertale.
In Undertale, you go under, and there's a tail.
Beautiful.
No. You fall. You're like an 8-year-old. You wake up. You meet Toriel. Toriel takes you to her home. You're like, you want to get out of the home. So you eventually tell her you're going to leave, and then you do. Then you go to Winter. Snowden. I know it's called Snowden. I'm not going to pretend I don't.
Yeah.
And then you run into a whole bunch of characters there. There's a Grilby, there's a Sanses, there's a Papyrus.
There's two of those three have not appeared in Deltarune.
Well, I've osmosed it.
Yeah, no, absolutely, no, I'm not. I know that you've absorbed it by osmosis, but it's just interesting, right? That whole section is sort of the like iconic, when the game of Undertale first opens up to you. But it's Undertale's chapter 2, right? But 2 of the 3 main characters in that section aren't in Deltarune at all. Bizarre.
Someone who has osmosed it would be aware of that, but 10 years, when someone's playing the full game on release, maybe they wouldn't have.
Yeah. I would say, what happens after Snowden?
You go to, I think, Hotlands?
Yep.
You go somewhere, and then you fight a blue lizard monster.
Okay, you know who she is. She's in Deltarune.
I know who I'm intentionally... Yeah, okay. You fight Undyne. She's got a yellow lesbian girlfriend at some point. And then there's a Metaton. I don't know how they're
I'm assuming,
all connected.
just through osmosis again, you'd absorb that Undyne and Alphys were a thing in Undertale?
Yes. And
so, were you surprised when they weren't, when you started playing Deltarune, that they didn't know about each other?
I figured it would be like a character development thing.
Yeah, okay.
It's... When I first played it, I didn't know, obviously, because Chapter 1, you don't know anything, but I figured, oh, okay, well, they'll be there by the end of the game. And we don't know. We're only 4 chapters through it. They might be, they might not be, I guess.
I don't know, fucking Undyne's in a goddamn shelter.
and then eventually you keep fighting people. I know Metaton has multiple bodies. I don't know how you get to each one. I don't know what the differences are. I know one of them's Neo.
Yeah.
But I know that from Deltarune.
Yeah, that's true, because you encounter the Neo body in Deltarune.
Yeah. I don't know how you get from, like, the square to Neo, but I know there is a Neo. And then eventually, after you get through that, you eventually go to the castle, and then you fight Asgore. And what you do against Asgore depends how you do things. And I know there's multiple endings. There's different routes. I know there is a No Mercy route.
Yep.
And I know what song plays at the end of it when you fight Sans.
Yep.
I knew that song well before Undertale came out, but we're not going to go into that.
And so you map out for me what you think the endings are.
Okay, I know there's the pacifist ending. That's when you don't fight. Well, not you don't fight. You don't kill anyone, and you eventually go to the surface, and you either choose to stay with Toriel or go out on your own. And then there's the no mercy route where you kill everyone, and then the evil little other 8-year-old gremlin takes over your body. And even if you do the pacifist route ending after that, you fucked up. The world's still gonna end. Good job, because no one can change who they are in this world.
That's pretty
is that
good.
line from?
I think honestly, I think you got a pretty good grasp on it.
Yeah, I've the circles we've been in. It's kind of
it'd
been
be hard
not
for you
to
not
have...
to, right? And so let me think about what else there's. But okay, so you know the big major characters, right? You know the characters who recur in Deltarune, and you know about a couple of the big, you know about Papyrus and Grillby that haven't reappeared, and Asriel, right, who's only been referenced, right? Are there any, when you think about Undertale characters, is there anybody that comes to mind that isn't in Deltarune that you know about?
Are we assuming that these are characters that are actually in Undertale?
Well, I don't know. Hit me and I'll tell you if they are.
I'm familiar with a Gaster.
Yes.
But is what I was getting at.
Yeah, right. Gaster, who we may or may not have encountered in Undertale, and is certainly talked about in several hidden events in Undertale. And it's
talked about even less in Deltarune. But
it's true, although he might be talking to us in Deltarune.
Yeah, like, thing is, I have that sort of cultural knowledge.
Yeah.
Again, like someone in 10 years who's playing Deltarune Final may be like, what the fuck is this weird voice? What's going on? What's happening?
Or they'll know more, or they will have absorbed everything about Gaster that's currently a mystery by cultural osmosis. Like, you know things about Undertale. Yeah, because
they'll have played it even further on, because they'll have heard about Deltarune coming in.
Yeah.
Which
I'm sure, maybe in 10 years I'll interview somebody who's in that boat. And so I guess, so I know you mentioned at the start of this interview, you're not interested in changing your circumstance. You don't want to play it. You're dug in.
I mean, I don't even know if it's that I don't want to play it. It's just, like I said last episode, I tried playing Undertale before Deltarune came out because I figured, okay, well, the bit's gone on long enough. I might as well actually give this game a shot. And I did. And honestly, the gameplay just, I think it's me because I played it after playing chapters 1 and 2 again.
Yeah.
I was like, I keep trying to graze. That's not a thing here. Why am I doing that?
Here's what I'll say. If you do play Undertale, right? And I think maybe if you give it a little bit more of a gap, since having played Deltarune, I think you might vibe with it a little more, just because you won't be expecting the same level of polish in the battle system.
Right.
I would love to do a follow-up episode and talk to you about your experience, how it differed from your expectations, and what you got out of the experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I would love to do that.
And we're gonna do it the other way too. I'm gonna get BQ's gonna play Deltarune and update me on what that's like. So I'm looking forward to that. Thanks so much for coming on. I really appreciate you introducing me to. I appreciate you letting me run a weird experiment on you.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I didn't honestly think this would ever pay off, but I'm glad it is, and I'm glad I had a chance to talk to you about my weird, fucked up, intentionally backwards experience with these games.
Yeah. I feel like this is very similar to the way that I watch some directors. Like Francis Ford Coppola, I've only seen Megalopolis. I've seen none of his other movies, which I'm aware is like...
What the fuck?
I'm aware that that's like demonstrably insane.
You haven't seen either Godfather?
No, I have not.
Or Apocalypse Now?
No, I haven't.
What the... Kate, come on!
I know. They're on my list. I intend to get to them. I have not been consciously avoiding them. I just haven't watched them.
Looking forward to next year's bonus Green Room episode where you rank all the movies you saw in 2026. And number 1 and number 2, Godfather and Godfather Part 2.
I would hope that I get to at least one of them this year. That is my hope. There's the thing. There's a lot of great, because I didn't watch a ton of movies growing up. And I kind of just didn't get into the habit of it until a few years ago. And so there's just a ton that I miss. This is how you miss something like Undertale. It's how I miss, The Godfather. You just it doesn't happen. And then you get to the point where you realize, oh, it's been this long and I haven't done it yet.
well, the thing with movies is that there's like a long history of it, and
Yeah, it's true.
There's not like an immediate predecessor thing. It's like, oh, I saw Patton, but I'm not going to go watch The Godfather.
Yeah.
Just to reference Coppola's movie right before that. So I'm aware I was in a weird case. At some point I decided I just wasn't going to play Undertale for the bit, and then Deltarune came out, and then I really decided I wasn't going to do it for the bit, and it actually ended up paying off.
That's true. All right, well, thanks so much for coming on. Is there anything you want to plug before we go?
Yes, because I didn't get a chance last episode. I'd like to plug the sport of baseball.
That's true. I think our last episode was sort of an overall plug for the sport of baseball.
Yes.
But baseball's coming up. I very much imagine we might be talking more on Green Room in the future about regular real-world baseball, not Undertale characters playing baseball.
Yes, I think that could very well be in the future.
And yes, I love baseball. I think it's great. If there's a baseball team in your town, and even if there's not a Major League Baseball team, there almost certainly is a minor league baseball team in your town or nearby, if you're American.
There's one in mine. They're called the Pirates.
And I think, might be fun. Go check out that John Boy's documentary about the Mariners that everybody likes, or just go catch a game. I think it's actually really fun. I'm a big evangelist for getting out and watching some baseball in your community. All right, well, thanks so much, Triumph.
If you're like me and Kate, and you're a real sicko for this sort of thing, fangraphs.com/podcast/effectivelywild.
That's true. If you're a baseball fan listening and you haven't listened to Effectively Wild, go listen to my podcast heroes. All right.
I'm plugging someone who I already pay. Let's go.
All right. Yeah. Have a great weekend. Have a great February, both to the listeners and to you, Triumph. Thanks for coming on.
You too, Kate. Thank you for having me again.
All right. That survey program. You can check us out at groupastrike.net, where you can also support the show for $5 a month and get access to some bonus episodes on other topics. Or you can listen wherever you get your podcasts. That's on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and more. Check out links to our guest plugs in the description, links to Highwell's music, Highwell, our incredible show musician. You can also join the Discord in the link there, where folks share fan art, talk theories, and talk about the latest episodes of the show. I really appreciate you taking the time for listening. Have a great 2 weeks, everybody.
Papyrus Amalgamated General Productions GmbH